Hi, I'm Brian from Leisure Travel Vans, and today we're going to be talking about the HDMI Matrix. This is a splitter box that is found in coaches that have multiple TVs. And what this does is it splits that signal from, let's say, the DVD player. It's plugged into this here, and this will send the signal to both of the TVs, the one in the galley area up front and also the one in the back by the bedroom or the lounge area. So in order to use the HDMI Matrix, what we're going to do is first of all make sure it's turned on. So there's a switch right here that will turn on. You'll see the lights light up on there. And then we'll turn on the DVD player. And after we have the DVD player turned on, we'll also turn on the TV. So once all three are turned on, now the signal will be coming from the DVD player. It'll be going into the HDMI Matrix, and from there splitting off to the TV. We can select which input is going into there by this little display right here. If you look at these displays, it'll show an output B and an output A. So A is going to be your front TV. B is your rear TV. And if you want to change which signal is being displayed on that particular TV, we can go to, let's say, out A for the front TV, and we'll select this button right here, and you'll see that little LED light change. When it changes to the next one, that's the next input on the back of the HDMI Matrix. So let's say if you have a satellite dish hooked up, and you've got your receiver in here, you can hook that up to another input on the back, and now you're going to be changing it to, let's say, input 2. So you'll go over to A2. That means the front TV will now be displaying the satellite dish, whereas right now output B, the rear TV, is still on 1, so it's still looking at the DVD player. If we wanted the back TV to also display the satellite dish, we would just press this output button here, and it'll output selection number 2, which is again going to be that satellite receiver. So one thing you want to remember whenever you're using the HDMI Matrix, on the TV, you're always going to want to make sure you're on HDMI 1. HDMI 1 is looking at this matrix. So you don't need to change your TV to satellite because it's already getting that signal from this matrix. So long as you stay on HDMI 1 on the TV, it'll be looking at this matrix. This matrix is what's going to be swapping it from the DVD player to the satellite receiver or any other input that you might have. So a couple other little features that the HDMI Matrix has is this remote. This remote, you can also change the different inputs on there. So here again, you have A1, A2, A3, A4, as well as the B ones for the rear TV. So again, you can watch those little LEDs on there. And if I press the A2, you'll see it change to the A2 output setting. Another thing the HDMI Matrix has is a couple sets of dip switches here. These dip switches can be changed for different settings, but this is something that I'd recommend leaving at the factory presets that we have. If you do want any more information on these dip switches, just see the owner's manual for the HDMI Matrix itself. So I have here a little sample HDMI Matrix just in my hands here, just to show you what this looks like a little bit in a little bit more detail. So again, I can just turn it on like this, and again you'll see all those little LEDs light up right there. That tells you which inputs you're on. Again, you can change it to the different inputs and outputs. So you can change it to the different outputs. On the back of it, this is what it looks like on the back. You've got your power input for it, which is plugged into an AC outlet. So again, you need to have your inverter turned on, or you need to be plugged into shore power for this unit to operate. But you've also got your input here, here, and here, and here. So you've got 4 inputs available to you. So typically what we do is we'll have the DVD player plugged into here, but you can also hook up again your satellite receiver right here, or again some other inputs, whatever you might choose to input. Your outputs are right here, so you're looking again at output A, output B. These are your front TV, your rear TV. So basically what this device is doing is it's taking these signals in and it's sending it out to the TVs. And you can select this TV, you can select each one of these inputs, again, just by selecting those buttons on the front. And just a word of caution as well, if you ever do need to remove the HDMI Matrix, always be very cautious about the HDMI cables on the back of it. These HDMI cables, if you torque on this HDMI Matrix when you're removing it, there is a chance that you could damage these connections on the HDMI cable. So just always be aware that there is something plugged into the back of that HDMI Matrix whenever you do want to remove it, if you need to plug something else into the back.